How about now? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad somebody's on here to tell me that there's no audio. Welcome. I'm super pumped that you're here this morning. If you're here for the first time, my name is Tyler. And today we're going to be helping you navigate the wild world of day trading futures. During the live streams, I'm going to be sharing my daily trading bias. I'm going to be giving you a front row seat to all the live trades and giving you a front row seat to all the action. No fluff, just the good stuff. And with that, if you're joining after the stream, you can jump to the key moments using the chapter markers below this video, where you can find out all the trades that I've taken, along with a detailed explanation of why. And with that, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to talk a little bit about Apex here in a second. But let's go ahead and open in prayer. Father, we just honor you this morning. Thank you that you've given us the ability to produce wealth. Father, we make our intention and our focus not to chase the market, but to receive from you. So today we receive what you have for us, and we honor you in our trading. Father, thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, folks, let's rock and roll. I am a little bit late. Main reason is there was 2 accidents on the road that I took one way to get out of the accident, and that way there was another accident just to get my son to school. So a little bit behind here. Let's see if we can get up to speed and get everything situated. Okay, we're set up there. Let's see if we can go on here. Ooh, I think I got, no. Okay. I have no idea what's going on in the market, so I have not done any type of looking here. All right, so let's go ahead and start at the daily time frame. And we ended the day lower. That's kind of the goal, and my expectation that I had was that we were going to run lower. Now, from here, what do we do? My initial thought was that we wick lower and then we push back up. That was my initial thought from yesterday. We could even mess around and hang out around the new week opening gap. We'll see if that's the case. So we got our daily high and previous day low. Let's drop down to and grab our new day opening gap here. I think I already marked it. Yeah, I already marked our new day opening gap. I just need to mark our midnight open. That's midnight open there. All right, I need to get rid of a couple things here. I got too much going on. That's midnight open from yesterday. We can remove that. Equal lows are still here. I'll get to the chat and say hello here in a few minutes, folks. I think we go lower. I want to see these equal lows ran. I want these equal lows ran. We left that for a while. I'm thinking we hit those. So we'll see. We got 6 minutes before market opens. Let's find out where our opening range gap is. I have a new feature on here. I was tired of trying to find my mouse, so every time I click the... Do you guys see that on your end? I don't think you see that. Tell me if you see that little circle around my mouse. All right. And in here. All right, where's London low? London low's been ran. London high has been ran. So we don't need to run the highs again. Tagged midnight open, ran midnight open. We've hit the previous day low. We should tag the previous day low again. Typically, when you run it once in the pre-market, we'll at least tag it again. What is this black line here? Equal lows. Okay. New day opening gap was tagged, pushed higher, grab liquidity. Why do I have equal lows here? That's not equal lows. I meant London low. Retest of London low. Opening range gap is right here. Right now we're sitting at 40 handles for the opening range gap. A little bit smaller than what we've been seeing. News. What do we got for news here? Sorry, I'm ultra focused on getting things set up before the opening bell here. Got 2 minutes. Let's see. And yeah, I'm not looking at anything right now. All right, so we had news at 8:30. Let's see what 8:30 looked like. Not much of a candle at 8:30. Unemployment claims. And we got minutes at 2 p.m. So we're only going to be trading here in the morning, here this morning. Got equal highs right here.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right. If you heard all that order submitted, that was me doing my 9:30 model. Okay, I think we're all set. I think we're all set here. Okay, now that we're set up here, let's say hello. Jordy, 930 model is what I've been doing. I've been using for inside of our the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. I've been using it. It's a model it's not to get rich. It's not a get rich model, but it absolutely it has about a 70% win rate that we use. So if you're interested in that, you can join the Discord and the Purpose Driven Trader community, and the course that's also there. And I give it to all of those students and people that have joined the community for the purpose of allowing them to learn to. The model is designed to make money quickly, to scratch that itch while you take the time needed to learn to trade, because it takes a long time. So T-Loft, good morning. John, good morning. Northern, Kane, good morning. Shane, good morning. Chris, Tony, Deborah, good morning. Ted, Wilhelm, Hang Flyin', good morning, guys. Nodden, good morning. Steve, Peter, DSF from Germany, welcome. How you doing? Okay. So now that we got some stuff out of the way, let's look at the higher time frame here. We hit a 1 hour order block and breaker. I like that. Inside of 1 hour fair value gap as well. I do like the idea of lower prices. Here's a fair value gap to the swing low, also to the previous day low. I like that. Did we sweep? We did sweep these equal highs, barely. So we have the hourly here overlapping with the midnight open. You can see we've tagged the midnight open here. We also have our new day opening gap sitting right here that we just tagged as well. I could see us running these highs. I mean, I really wanted us to run these equal lows. If we run these highs first and then run lower, I think we have lower to go. But if we run the equal lows first, we may retrace from that. Let me mark. $9.30. Kabod, good morning. Eva, good morning. Trading plus Jesus equals bringing it together. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're about. That's what we're about. I'm always trying to bring what the Lord has been teaching me in my own personal walk. Also, it's surprisingly, and no surprise to be honest, it relates a lot with trading. There's just so much correlation that you can learn from scripture that relates with day trading. It's pretty crazy. All right, so it looks like we're going to violate this first fair value gap here. We've swept the highs. Honestly, I would like to see us break below this fair value gap here, and this would be a breaker. But I want to get outside of this consolidation right here. I'm going to be patient today. We're going to just receive instead of chase. We're going to wait and be patient and let the trades come to us. Let the obvious trade smack us in the face. $15-minute time frame. It's pretty tight right here. Kubota, initially I would like us to run lower to these equal lows right here. This is where I think my target's at. That's the kind I'm looking for, a downside play to run here. I want to see where this closes. Okay, see how it retraced all up? It's still moving, but it's not as quickly as I wanted. We honestly could use this as our breaker here. Inside this fair value gap here. I have this fair value gap as far as an inversion to this low right here, which could work. It's been respected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 times. That's how many times it's been tagged. So, I mean, it does look nice.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
My screen is a little choppy. All right, I took that short for 10 handles. Sorry, I wasn't able to do it because I wasn't sure if I was in the trade or not. I ended up taking that for 10 handles and got in, got out. I want to see how it reacts right here. This is a nice, I think this is a nice breaker. There's not a fair value gap around here though, so I'm not sure if it wants to reach all the way back up to here or not. Yeah, so there's the lack of a fair value gap. Let me screen share to this here over here. All right, so right here, it's a little bit cleaner on this chart. There's no fair value gap in this retracement. So main reason why I'm hesitant on the breaker is not knowing if it's going to find resistance at this order block right here. If we can find resistance at this order block, that would be really nice, and we could see some lower prices right here. We could see it roll over. I want to see if it wants to respect, it also needs to respect this inversion fair value gap in 3 seconds. And it did respect it technically, but it's already up in the premium portion of that inversion. Oh, that's 9:30 here. Okay. Low resistance liquidity right here. This fair value gap, or this opening range gap, was just about filled. It went to the, I like how that, let's see where this closes. Okay, so it did close above the inversion. We are now waiting. Now we're waiting for more confirmation. I'm going to move my fair value gap down to this one here. We did not make a lower low from this swing low right here. We left it open. So that is an opportunity potentially from this inversion. We could aggressively push that low. We tagged the first fair value gap. I like seeing that right at 9:30. Okay, we want to wait for a close though. A close, basically we want to see this breaker play out. That's kind of what we're looking at. But right now it's being violated, so we just need to sit and be patient. Another reaction to that first fair value gap. At this point, we're just watching this fair value gap. That's the the fair value gap at 9:30. This is the most obvious level. We've been respecting it. We've respected it twice. We'll see how it wants to close and if it wants to roll over or not. This price action showing me bullish, to be honest. I mean, it looks bullish. 15-minute just closed, and it closed with a doji candle. There's absolutely nothing. There's absolutely no body to this. That's... Nah, I don't like that. The 5-minute completely filled. Retraced its progress lower. Yeah, this is a sit on our hands moment. Nothing good here. If you guys like the commentary so far, and if you want to see an on-screen trade, let's get up to 25 likes. 25 likes. And we'll look at taking an on-screen trade. We are 1 for 1 outside. I did take the 930 model. It did not play out. It did lose today. So with the 930 and that second trade I took, we are 1 for 2. If you only count the trade that I called out, we are 1 for 1 at the moment. 10 handles. What's the best way to start paper trading in real time? Do I need a funded Trade-of-8 account? Shane, let me ask you a couple questions, and you can post them here. A couple different ways that you can go about doing it. If you want real-time data, and that's the most important to you, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can pay a subscription to Trade-of-8, and you can get real-time data. Okay, it's about, I think it's like $5 a month. If anybody else can add to that, it's like $5, $6, $7 a month. Okay, that's option one. And then you can demo trade on there and not have to worry about anything. Option number two is you can get an evaluation account with Apex. That's going to bump you up to about $29 if you do a 25K account. And they pay for that subscription. It's free, but your eval account is good for 30 days and then they renew it. So it's about $29 a month. Or you can just pay for the $5, $6, $7, $8 one and do complete demo trading, which is where I recommend you start if you have absolute no experience. 100% best way to go because it's zero risk. You're not interested in trying to add risk to yourself. Okay. So if you have absolutely no experience, and so that's my question to you is, do you have any experience? Do you know your trading model? Do you know how you want to trade? And have you figured that out? If you haven't, then demo is the best way to go. TradeAvate, a live TradeAvate account with paying for the subscription. That's the best way to go. Yeah, don't do Apex yet. You're just going to burn through Apex accounts. It's a waste of money. Go straight demo and take all of the risk of losing money out and focus only on understanding the strategy and reading price action. That's it. That's it. When you find yourself taking consistently winning trades and waiting for the best setups, or even if they're not best setups, but you're waiting for what you think is a good setup, that's when you're making progress. Good morning, Phil. The mistake most traders make is here's the mistake most traders make if they're on demo. Okay, you can also do this on TradingView. Yes, DSF, I would agree with you. If you're going to do this, Shane, jump onto TradingView and get a free account with TradingView and pay through their subscription to get the real-time data and get it through there. All right, looks like we're going to break through 930 and this first fair value gap. We'll see how it wants to close. We still got like 30 seconds. But the mistake traders make on demo is they just start clicking buttons. They don't care. They go, what would it feel like? What would it be like if I, do 100 contracts? What if I did 1,000 contracts? We've all done it. I mean, if you haven't done it, you're lying. The mistake people make is they treat it like gambling instead of treating it like a real account. You got to treat it like a real account, and you want to focus on taking. All right, so here's the reclaimed fair value gap. Now we want to see it find support right at 930. We should find support right here and bounce higher. That's what we want to see. See how aggressively it went lower right on that new candle? That automatically tells me, I'm like, yeah, we're probably going higher. Because they want to scare you thinking that it's going to go lower. So they go aggressively, and then they pop higher towards the end of the candle. Okay? Okay, DSF, I have never traded demo, but this is no recommendation. I have blown thousands of dollars, actually, but every loss yeah. So DSF, here's the only difference. Here's the difference. I understand what you're saying. You're not going to get real experience until you go on a live account. But I'm not saying I made the same mistake as you. And I'm calling it a mistake because this is my opinion. I don't know what I was thinking that I should learn the strategy with my real funds. If I didn't have a strategy, what was I thinking? Thinking that I can learn a strategy, figure it all out with real money. I think I wish I could go back and do it over. I wish I was smart enough to say to myself, Tyler, stay on freaking demo until you know the strategy. Once you know the strategy, then you go to an eval account and start adding a little bit of risk. And then you have to deal with your emotions, because 80% of trading is dealing with your emotions. So spend the time dealing with your emotions after you've figured out the strategy. But if you don't know the strategy, what the heck are you doing getting on a live account? If you don't have a strategy and you can't consistently find it, you're literally burning your money. And that's what I did. And I lost thousands of dollars doing that. Oh yeah, 100% did. I mean, yeah, you do a demo account and you're like, man, I could have actually made $5,000. You have to avoid that because it's not about making money. All right, here's the sell-off right here. We didn't grab that high. More low resistance liquidity being set right there. Look at this aggressive candle. We're not doing anything with this. I don't care if it closes right here. We're not doing anything with that, because it's inside of this price leg with nothing for us to do. Maybe this one right here. Maybe this one right here. I'm including the volume imbalances, as you can see right there. No sweep of liquidity there. Yeah, this might look like it's going to run there. We got a minute and a half left on the 5 minute. Yeah, John, we're not trading tomorrow. Thank you for that. So it's not a new holiday. It's a day of mourning for the passing of the president, Carter. Coincidentally enough, apparently it's Carter who gave away the Panama Canal for $1 to Panama. All right, so see how we closed? There's technically your entry for an inversion, but look at the risk that you would be suffering here. I'm not taking that. That's 30 handles. And look exactly what happened right there. So this would be a better chance for a short right there. Basically taking it right here. Man, my charts are extremely choppy right now. It's extremely frustrating. I really like this. I actually took this entry right here, but it got me here and then it stopped me out before I could even do it, before I could even see it on my charts. Ugh. Extremely frustrating. I don't even know what's going on here. Oh, what the heck? Flatten all. Let's get out of this. What the? I don't even know what's going on my account. It's up now. I don't even know what happened. I'm just going to keep my hands off right now. Because everything is just so... I don't know, since the new year, everything's just been so, glitchy. It's extremely frustrating. All right. So now this trade technically is violated, this inversion right here, because we closed above it. Okay? But beautiful breaker. I still say lower prices. It's just high resistance. It's not running smoothly, so I might just sit out, to be honest, until something becomes extremely obvious. Maybe when we hit the equal lows and then we get a reversal, maybe I'll look at a reversal at that point. But look how up and down this price action is. This is not the kind of price action we really want to try to make any trades. Especially momentum style trades, which is a lot of what the inversion is. suffer drawdown when we're in high resistance. So I have two models: the inversion model, the breaker model. Inversion model is horrible in high resistance markets. High resistance markets mean overlapping candles with each other, a lot of back and forth. Low resistance markets is when you see price do this. This is low resistance. It just flows really nicely, not as much back and forth. You look at this, look at that. Everything's just overlapping with each other, high resistance. My inversion model is not the best in high resistance markets. It's the best in low resistance markets. The breaker is a better option for high resistance. Why? Because you take the trade after the retracement, and typically after you get the retracement or the overlapping candle overlaps with other candles, it then can expand lower. So I think what I'm going to probably do is look only for breakers at this point, so that because it's not in our best interest. So to take the inversion model in high resistant markets. Now, if the market cleans up and we start getting nice smooth price action, I'll change my opinion. And we'll use an inversion if the setup's there. Tony, I'm always watching ICT's content. I would say the way I view ICT has changed drastically from 2 years ago. But I'm still gonna honor the man who came up with the concepts that I use. So I watch his stuff, and I consider his opinion. Stock magician, really? I don't know. When did Carter die again? Is this going to be a thing every January 9th now? Did this happen last year? I thought he just recently passed away. I don't keep track. Let me find out. No, December 29th, 2024. This is when he just passed. Here, I'll pull up on the screen. There he is. December 29th, 2024, at 100 years old, he passed away. So we are celebrating his life tomorrow. It is not going to be a holiday. Thank you, Jesus. There's no reason for a holiday. I think 2 weeks ago, they're basically anticipating his passing. So Kabod, my opinion has changed on him as a person. I think when I first started trading, hang on, here's an inversion right here. When I first started trading, and it's going to close above, and it could run this high, but this is another inversion, why we're not taking it. So we're going to watch this and see if it fails. Okay? That's what we want to see is, does this inversion fail like all these other ones have been, or does it have a lot of drawdown? So here's technically where your entry would be, and your risk on this trade is 41 handles. Heck no. This is a heck no. Who would want to risk 41 handles? And if you're like, why are you risking 41 handles? Because my rule is, when we have an inversion, you don't close the trade until it closes below the fair value gap that it violated. Heck no. So this is a pass, hard pass. We're not taking none of that. I like how it bounced off of the first fair value gap. But my opinion of ICT's changed in the sense of him as a person. I really, really, really did not like how he handled himself on Twitter, on X, how he engaged with other content people. how he slammed other people were doing it to him. And on top of that, he says he claims he's a believer. I believe him, but I don't think he's a sanctified believer where he's actively trying to sanctify his life in Christ and get rid of the old and live in that new life in Christ, because he engages in that constantly. And it bothered me a lot. His concepts are amazing. I admire that. All right, so see that little stab? We ran this liquidity here over on the 5-minute tap, then midnight open. So I will watch his stuff. I will still on there. Here's what I think of. I think of David and Solomon in the Bible. David and Solomon. David was anointed king, and Solomon tried to kill him multiple times. Yet David honored the man that got anointed. I do believe that the Lord has blessed ICT with some knowledge that he was able to take and become very profitable over the years. Yet I think in some ways he may have squandered that responsibility. And this is just me being honest. I will honor the man. I will honor him for the concepts he's created. I will give him the credit because he came up with it, as far as I know. And I think that's deserving of honor. Despite what he may do with his life, I still honor the gift that was given to him. Because it wasn't until I found his content that I've been able to give language to what I'm seeing. I'm telling you guys, when you take his concepts, not even to trade his models. Who cares about his models? The thing is, what ICT gave to the trading community is a language to talk about what price is doing and why it's doing what it's doing. That nobody has come close to giving that to the trading community. Not at all. It's not even in comparison of what he's been able to give to the trading community in regards to a language. So, I might be going on way too much. Here's a breaker right here. Here's our breaker. Let's see if it wants to find support at this new day opening gap and push higher. I'm not interested in higher prices, but it looks like that's where it wants to go. So I'll wait. Because I really want this. I'm kind of set on that. So if we're going to go higher, it can go higher. Here's our breaker. But I think prices are lower. So if I think prices are lower, I feel like I'm trading an expansion against where I think price is going to go. And so it's just wise to sit out of that kind of stuff. Tag the breaker again, Ted. Right, this is the breaker I'm looking at right now. And it has the new day open. I mean, there's reason. I mean, this looks nice, but I'm just not going to take it. I mean, here's why. We swept the low over here at 8 a.m. This is our lowest price leg that ran, and then we broke above it running the high. So if there's an option for us to go higher, this is in my mind, this is where it would have to be. So if we did a 10 handle, let's see if 10 handles plays out here. And there it goes lower. So no, this is why we're sitting out. High resistance liquidity right now, or it's a high resistance market. It's a lot of overlapping. Look at that crap. We're not messing around with that. I mean, you can barely see my fair value gaps in here. There's so much crap going on. So we're going to remove the opening range gap. That's been filled. This has been violated. We swept the highs and went into this 15-minute fair value gap. Let's look at the hour 30-minute here. Hourly. There's not a lot for me to go off of here. I mean, I definitely see the lower prices as well. But look how much overlap we've had. We've had a down close candle here at 6 a.m. We retraced it. We ran it again. And then we retraced it. And then we ran it again. So look at that up and down price action. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So it's hard for me to say if we ran lower. I mean, how often do you see four solid candles in a row? I mean, you just don't see that very often. So it's hard for me to say that this is going to run lower yet. It would make more sense if we ran up here for the next hour at 11 o'clock and then we run lower in around lunchtime. But we'll see what price wants to do. We just got to sit and be patient. I'm not going to take any unnecessary trades. And think about this. It's better to sit if you see a setup that's, 75%, 70, 25, 50, 50. It's almost better to just sit out until you start seeing the market change. You will see the market change. It's better to wait to see the chart patterns change instead of trying to take a trade inside of this high resistance time frame. Monitoring the 15-minute, not looking good. I know. I mean, I'm looking at, I started at the 15-minute, went up to the hour. Let's look at the 4-hour here. Okay, so this is beautiful. This is beautiful right here. Look at the 4-hour. Actually, this looks really nice. This looks like a beautiful setup for a run to the equal lows. We retested this order block, this 4-hour order block. All right. Hopefully it should give us some time to get in. All right. So right here is our order block. OB. Do I have a 1 hour? I don't have a there it is. 1 hour order block. Okay. It's technically a 4-hour. We retested that. This 4-hour candle, there is liquidity sitting at the bottom of this. I got this, what I'm sharing with you guys, full disclosure, on just reading this portion, how I'm reading this, I got from Mike Trades, I believe. He calls it order confirmation or candle confirmation. 4-hour fair value gap right below or right above the equal lows. Draw on liquidity. It didn't run it. It had displacement. Next 4-hour candle comes back up, tests the 4-hour order block. We should see price run this low based on his strategy. And from what I've looked into, it's great. Now, I don't use it as my entry model. I have a different entry model. So now we're looking for our entry model. And there's nothing here. Because it's a 4-hour candle, we could hang out up here for a while. It's a 4-hour candle. So we just need to figure out when is the right time to get in. We swept these highs. This candle right here is now our breaker block. Here's our breaker. Let's see if price can get through here. And then we'll see for maybe a retest for a continuation lower. I mean, there's some room, folks. I mean, there's room here. Where are these equal lows at? Right here. These are the equal lows. So we're looking at 70, 80 handles. So there's plenty of room for us to get into a trade here. Let's just see if we get something here. Five-minute looks horrible, or 15-minute looks horrible. 5-minute has a order block right here. We will get here in a minute and 44 seconds. This is a change in state of delivery. So my only concern, folks, is trying to take this trade thinking that we may get still high resistance. All right, I'm going to take a quick entry right here, see if we get an expansion lower. Just 10 handles. Sorry, I'm in the trade now. All right. It just hit my target for 10 handles. In and out right there. Again, my concern is that we run back and retrace some of this price action that we've seen right here. Okay? That's my concern, and that's why I'm not going, emptying the bank on this trade. I'm just looking for a base hit. If anything, because we could still reach back up to this breaker. But we did run this low right here. So it could just expand lower right now. But the good news is we got 10 handles out of the market. 10 handles on a mini contract, that's $200. You do that on 10 contracts, that's $2,000. Or 10 accounts, that's $10,000. That's $2,000. I'm going to get rid of this fair value gap right now. It's just too much clutter here. I really want to see a retest of this before it runs this low. Part of me wants to take a short right at this breaker just for 10 handles. But I'm not pretty green, but I'm green. And I just feel like that's a little bit of risk considering we got two large fair value gaps with displacement here. But I mean, everything is 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, this looks nice. There's our monthly tag. Let's see if it wants to. I hope it doesn't run from here. That's an institutional order flow entry drill. A little tiny wick into that fair value gap. You guys can see that there. It's hard to go. The challenge for traders like you and I is to try to determine when are we going from high resistance to low resistance. I kind of want to just take a half size here. All right, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try an initial test here.
Order submitted.
All right, ES just tagged it. NQ did not. Or, all right, I'm gonna get out of that. Here's why. We just tagged it right there on NQ, or right here, and it didn't tag it on the MNQs, so I got out of it because it didn't tag in MNQ at the same time. But let's see if it gives us the retracement right here. So 10 handles is right here. Let's see if it gives a retracement of 10 handles. That's what we would be looking for right there. I'm not in this at the moment. There's our close. Looking for that 10 handles. If you put your entry based on the body of the candle, you would have got 10 handles already. All right, there it is. So it gave 10 handles on that trade. I was not a part of that though. So that's a breaker retest. The initial exposure of a breaker. Typically, you'll get 10 handles from that. I switched to MNQ, but it didn't give it to us, and now it's selling off pretty nicely. We got equal lows on ES right now. That looks nice that it could run that for lower prices. Tag of previous day low. Let's see it sell off right here. That'd be nice. That signature with a nice sell-off could warrant a little bit of a smart chase. We'll see what happens. It needs to be aggressive, though. If it's not aggressive, I'm staying. I'm not doing nothing. Yeah, there it goes. All right, just got another 10 handles from that. And I'm out. Again, I'm seeing high resistance, so I'm not trying to trade for the fences here. That's not trade for the fences, swing for the fences, I should say. I'm going to be done on my funded account, and I might just do a couple evals here. So let's close this. This is a perfect example of high resistance, folks. It's not running. It acts like it's going to run, and then it stops, and then it pretends like it's going to go again, and then it stops, retraces. Here's our 5-minute change in state of delivery. Let's see how it reacts to that. Honestly, I think it's probably going to run up into this fair value gap here. All right, so I'm on my eval account, which is traded here on this screen. So if I take another trade, it will be here. I don't see this, guys. This is not running for these highs. There's no, low probability that this is running for the highs. I'm looking for it to find, honestly, this looks nice right here. We got this order block, reclaimed order block. We got this fair value gap right here. This would be a nice place to see a reversal. Maybe it wicks up to the first fair value gap at 930 again. But I want to see everything stay below 930 for sure. Oh, E-Mini Hank, welcome. Yes, it's horrible. Thankfully, I'm fairly green on the day, but we're trying to take only good setups. I was thinking about you the other day, Hank. I was like, that was kind of him for jumping on stream. I'm like, I wonder what how trading's been going. How's the new year starting out for you? All right, so we still have this breaker block right here that we're inside of. It's so large that we really can't. I'm going to remove this breaker, but just keep in mind that we're inside this breaker block, and we want to see it find a reversal somewhere in here. I like this down close candle. overlapping with this fair value gap right here. So I want to see the bodies stay inside of this. I'm okay with wicks coming up touching 930, but we'll see. We just tagged it barely. Bodies are staying out of it. Let's see how it reacts here. What a reaction. So we're on the 1 minute. Let's jump up to the 2 minute. Look at the difference between the candles between the 1 and the 2 minute. You have a fair value gap here and here. I went to the 2 minute seeing if we could get a single fair value gap because that's ideal, but we got nothing on the 2 minute. 3 minute nothing. 4 minute even worse. It's horrible. $10.02. Oh, you played down to the short side? Nice. That was a great early entry. I was concerned that breaker was going to take it higher. So if you are interested in, if you want to do an inversion, this is your best inversion so far, in my opinion. We ran up into the 5 minute order block right here. We wicked into this fair value gap. We didn't even get up to 930, barely filled this fair value gap. If there's aggression in this candle, this would be, I'm saying this because I'm not sure if I want to take it or not, folks. That's why I'm talking this way. So it's a nice size. It's only 10 handles, so your risk is relatively small. Your target would be this swing low. That's 30 handles. The risk to reward to me is there. It just depends on how low this candle closes. I probably will take this trade if it gives it to us. $50 handles is still a good amount there, Hank. Nice job. I haven't been holding, especially when we saw the high resistance liquidity, that I'm just like, I'll take 10 handles and get out. So I think I've collected about 30 handles so far for the day. So I'm done on my funded accounts. Just do a couple evals. Five minute looks great for lower prices right here, guys. It looks beautiful. Purge of liquidity. 5 minute order block. That's our change in state of delivery. One wick of that candle. We're just waiting for the displacement. We just want to see aggression. Even the 1 hour. Look at the 1 hour. Nice wick up into this order block again, and the 1 hour fair value gap. And it ran lower without running this low. I think there's liquidity under here. The 4 hour looks perfect as well. This just, to me, it says lower prices. So that's that. We're just waiting for the right opportunity. So if it gives it to us, we just jump in and we take it. I'm right there with you, Hank. I mean, that's when I make my most money, is when it moves fast and it doesn't require me to wait. Because when I have to wait, that's what I haven't exercised. That skill needs to be exercised more. Before we run this low, guys, I would like us to run these relatively equal highs right here. I wanted just a quick sweep of that. And then if we get a nice close below there, I mean, to me, that's like, I couldn't ask for it to be better. That's what I would prefer. All right, so there's that wick. Let's see if we can now, if we can close red and then the next candle close below, that would be beautiful. Yeah, it's not going to give it to us, is it? Yeah, the hardest trades for me to hold for are the ones that just sit right around that break-even point, because then I'm like, man, what if this just wicks and gives me a loss? And I know it's all my emotions talking, but those by far are the hardest ones for me to manage my emotions correctly. Minutes feel like hours. Oh, Tony, you're on point. If I had a preference, if I wasn't streaming, I would get in a trade and I'd be standing up I'd just stand up and just be staring at it like this. I'm like, I gotta be away from it, and I'm just gonna, you can do it. Come on, let's go. But when I'm on stream, I'm like, I don't want to get up. I'll stay seated. And then you'll see I'm still in my pajama bottoms. No, I got sweatpants on. I want it to respect 930. That's really what I want it to respect right now. I would love for it to really respect this fair value gap too, but we'll see what it wants to do. Yeah, it's a little different when you don't got a camera on you, though. That sounds fun. My wife, I was just it was funny. I bought my wife a handgun for working on concealed carry for her, because we live in a state where we don't even need a permit, which is really nice. And my son goes, Mom, she wanted to go get ice cream, so she's gonna go by herself. My son, he's 10 years old. He's like, Mom, this would be a great time for you to carry your gun. And she's like, you're right. I need to do this. She keeps reminding me she wants to go to the range so that we can keep practicing her target, her accuracy. Practice different scenarios. I'll tell you, if I would do that for those of you out there. Carrying a firearm is I think important. All right, so we closed above this fair value gap. That's pretty aggressive. Not a single fair value gap here. I'm not interested in higher prices, so I'm not taking it. Again, I told you I wanted to see it respect 930, so that's what I'm watching for. We got ourselves a couple 6 hours. I just like the way the grip felt, and so did my wife, so we got a couple of those. But to be honest, for like home defense, I'm thinking of just getting like something that doesn't require as much accuracy for home defense. If you're imagining a sawed-off shotgun, that's basically what I'm thinking. All right, so we broke above 930. Now I want to see it act as support. And we closed above the first fair value gap right here. If we are going to run these highs, that's what I would want to see. I don't know why you would come up right up to here, close above this, and just stop right here. I mean, in my mind, there's no reason for it to stop right here. So either we're going to touch the new day opening gap, run to midnight open, or run into the high. I don't know why you would stop here. Unless I'm missing something. The hourly order blocks right here. But I don't think that's the 4-hour order block, so there's nothing there. Yeah, there's literally, from what I'm looking at, there's no reason for it to stop here. So I would see this expanding higher. Yeah, the issue right now that I'm trying to work on with my wife is how to carry concealed. Because obviously when you carry, it's bulky. And I got her the smallest 6-hour there probably is. I think it was an X365 or 365X. It's one of the two. But they're just bulky. So I'm like, an off-body carry would probably be her best solution, but then she has to be extremely intentional on what she's doing with her bag, which she's pretty careful about already. She never leaves her bag out of her sight, but she just doesn't think about your primary consideration is always the firearm in every decision you make. So I don't think she's just not quite there yet. This is really interesting. I don't see why we stop here unless that's a 62% retracement. Let me run a fib here. Hang on. So that's a 70. That's 70%. That's the OTE. Interesting. So based on the optimal trade entry, this is a perfect entry to the tick, and then it's displacing lower. So we'll see if it wants to continue lower here. This doesn't look bad right here. The only problem is it's just in the middle of all this crap, and it could as easily find support in this order block, this 5-minute order block that's sitting right here, and push higher. So I'm not interested really in this because yes, it's an optimal trade entry. I just don't like it. I'd rather take this one down here if I'm gonna take an inversion. That big seller at 360 is not bidding. Those fires in California look bad. I haven't seen... There's fires in California again? I feel like there's fires in California every year. You know what, to be honest, I did some research and was watching some stuff basically on California. There is so much water to the north that they've diverted into the ocean that there would be no water issues in the state of California if they didn't do that. Yet for whatever reason, they did it. I don't even know. I think California is so mismanaged. And I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure it out. I just don't understand. You think all the environmentalists would be like, we need more water. Let's get more water in. They're building a reservoir right now. I think it's about freaking time. Appreciate it, Hank. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, 11 a.m. macro begins here in a few minutes. Let's see how it responds. All right, so there's our close. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Ted. It did not. We have not gotten a close below this fair value gap. Plus, we have a volume imbalance, so we need to include this volume imbalance right here. So, let's see if that wants to close. My Discord's not loading it at the moment, so I'm restarting it, seeing if that works. But it's like frozen. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm having so many issues. Here, let me show you. That black box is Discord right now, and there's nothing on it. Just a black box. I don't understand. Do you guys see why we include this volume imbalance? If we don't include that volume imbalance on an inversion, you would have gone short here, and it's immediately running against you right now. Now, it could still run the other way, but nobody likes drawdown like that. So we just have to wait for the close. I'm not taking this entry. Unless it closes like this. If it closes aggressively, that may be interesting. If we went from green to... I'm just going to sit right here real quick. Nope. Okay. Forget Discord on my computer. Let's look on my phone. Well, look at that reaction. All right, let's see where this closes. Right here. The risk is pretty big if you take this short. It's 20 handles. If this goes green to red, I'll take the trade. I got your trade eval or your stuff pulled up here, Ted. I'll look at it here in a second. I'm just watching this, seeing what happens here. All right, so again, I told you I wasn't taking this trade unless it gave me that candle. It did, but the risk was too big with 20 handles, so I wanted to wait to see what happened here. And it's not working in our favor. You could take an entry right here and you'd have a much lower risk if you think prices are moving lower. I'll take one. Stop loss is going to be a close above this fair value gap. It's relatively low risk. We're looking at 10 handles. The risk is greater if you don't. The risk is greater because we're waiting for the close of the candle. So it could close up here. That's the risk we take. So you just got to adjust your size appropriately. Only reason I'm halfway tempted to allow this trade to play out is simply because we're in the 11 a.m. macro time, and I know we haven't hit the downside target. And so I want to see if we want to roll over right here. But it doesn't look that way. Hovering right here. Okay, closing that trade. That was a loss on my eval account. All right. Again, with the chart, I have used this entry several times. Ted, I'm looking at your thing right here. Give me the time for the bullish order block that you're referring to. Because a bullish order block is a red candle and a bearish order block is a green candle. So I'm just trying to clarify. If you're asking if that's a breaker, the answer is yes. This right here, you can count this as a breaker. High, low, higher, high, break below, breaker, drop lower. These are absolutely breakers, but they're not my favorite. I don't take them that often because I like a fair value gap right here, typically. So I don't play these nearly as much. No, mitigation is when you have a high. Let me show you what a mitigation block is. Here's a mitigation block. Oh no, that's a breaker too. This is a breaker to there. That's a breaker. I'm just looking for an obvious one. Here's one right here. High, low, lower high. And then that would have been the mitigation block. Now, does that make a higher high? Now, you also see a high, low, higher high here, which makes that a breaker. But if you consider this high, low, lower high, that's a mitigation block. So sometimes the mitigations and the breakers overlap. So that right there is the breaker, high, low, higher high, breaker entry. You also have the high. This is a higher high. So technically this is superior than this. But high, low, lower high, break lower. But many times on those mitigation blocks, you'll still see a inferior breaker like this one right here still be inside the price action. And you'll have basically two confirming confirmations. You got a mitigation block and you got a breaker block. Here's also a mitigation high, low, lower, high right here that it doesn't actually get up to. Does that answer what you're thinking here? And this breaker, I wouldn't really put much, I don't put much weight on it. But I mean, when you look at that, it's just like, holy cow. This one down closed candle at 10:01 has been respected 4 times. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in the last hour. Spread it out throughout the hour. It's after I see it multiple times, then I use it as consideration. But I don't have the balls to take it here. I would have rather done what Hank did. Hank took this right here. Hank took this inversion right here, got in right there. Another option would have been to get in the 10:07 candle when it retouched it and hold it at that position. And he sold down here once it ran this low. So you're looking at, yeah, a big candle. That's 70 handles. I just wasn't looking at that to do that. When it ran this, I was looking at this bullish breaker I was concerned that it was going to continue to go higher, and I was waiting for it to run lower. But I didn't even consider taking this trade. I probably should be more considerate, considering that we ran all this low resistance liquidity, and understand that when you run this low resistance liquidity right here, your probability when you see discount PD arrays being violated, we're probably going to run lower. That's what happened here. I just was look at it potentially running higher, and I'm like, I don't see why it could run higher, yet I considered it probably too much. And I could have taken this inversion here, which I normally don't like taking it. I mean, I'm literally taking an inversion against this order block. That's really hard for me. But the thing that you have to trust, and something that you're going to constantly be learning, is that, all right, if my bias truly is to the downside and we just ran liquidity, I have a higher chance of this playing out than it bouncing off this breaker to run higher. The only thing that I thought was this: high, low, higher high, and then we broke lower and run for these lows. We didn't get that here. We did in the form of this breaker right here, but it happened so quickly that I'm not taking that. So I ended up taking, what was it, a 2 minute? 1 minute? What did I take right here? I took something right here. I can't remember what I took. Was it on the 2 minute? Oh, I took the retest of this breaker for that second push lower right here. Tested this breaker right here for the low. I think I talked about not taking inversions because of the high resistance, and that's why I overlooked this. That's why I didn't take that, because I was like, I'm not going to take an inversion in this overlapping price action. That's why I didn't look at that. This has a signature of potentially breaking higher through this right here. When we got relatively equal highs like this, it pops through this and runs. So at least to this high. We'll see what it wants to do. Again, I'm still bearish towards these equal lows. All right, 11 a.m. Another breaker tag. If we get a sweep of that level, I may consider going short. We sweep it and close back in this range, I'd look at that as an entry. Yeah, the turtle soup option, I would have only been interested, and I would have never been interested in it because that's just not how I trade right now. But if I was going to turtle soup this, I would have wanted to see those bodies close below it. You could have taken the entry here at 10.04, but we're so close to this inversion, it probably would have just been better to take the entry on the close of this inversion to ensure we're violating a discount PD array. It's really messy in here. I had my brother on stream that tell me that he could hear me chewing gum. He hates the sound of chewing gum, so I apologize for anybody that can hear me chew gum. Narrative is everything, Ted. Narrative and higher time frame draw is everything. And this is our higher time, hands down, this is a higher time frame draw. We could take this trade right here. This is a breaker. Honestly, I want to see if it wants to respect this. I'm not taking my entry here. I want to see if it wants to respect this level here. These series of up close candles. What does it look like on the 2 minute? Yeah, it looks better on the 2 minute right here. And then I want to see it turn over. So touch there and then roll over lower. We barely swept this high though. That's like it's a barely a sweep. That could be the case for sure, David. I'm hoping it gives us an entry for these lows here. Here it might be right here. No close. Son of a gun. This looks good. First target would be this swing low right here. Let's see if it gives us the entry though. J Money, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. I'm going to take the entry. It barely gave it to us, but we have the entry. I only took one contract, so stop will be moved to break even. I'm going to hold it for the big move. But we need to get to this low. That'll be 20 handles right here. All right, stops at break even. We better run this low right here. I grabbed another contract. There's a sweep of the low. Let's see if we can get a push right here. To this fair value gap. Son of a gun. Don't retrace on me. That's not good. Poor management on my end, folks. Son of a gun. I just let a beautifully play trade turn negative. Guys, that was poor execution. I got into that second contract with the intention to sell right when it got down here, and it didn't give it to me, or it went down here, but I didn't get the sell, and it got back up. So I was waiting for it to come back down, and then it ran my stop. That's poor execution. Beautiful trade, horrible execution. Look how aggressive these candles are. Here's your breaker.
Order submitted.
This is... I need to get out. That was a poor decision. I'm getting out. I'm glad this is an eval account, because I'm allowing that frustration of that mismanaged trade hit me. Look at that. Look at that. What a candle. Oh yeah, Daniel. Could be running for these equal highs right here. Let's see if we get immediate rebalance right here on this.
Order submitted.
Okay, there's an immediate rebalance right here. I'm going to see if we get a reaction back up here just for 10 handles, or if it's going to push through it. Just going to do a 10 handle stop loss, 34.24.
Order submitted.
Yep. Did I just cancel that? I don't even know what I did. Either way, I'm going to leave my hands off, guys. Isn't it crazy how one mismanaged trade can spiral down? I'm verbalizing this because this is a real issue. If there's a mismanaged trade, it's better to sit on your hands or walk away completely and wait for a completely different setup. Oh yeah. Right here, this is the difference between a profitable trader and a struggling trader. This right here. So how you handle this moment, how I handle this moment is telling on my skill set, because it's a matter of how you handle your emotions. This is what I wanted. That immediate rebalance is what I wanted to see. I don't know why or what happened to the candle on why it got me out. I thought I set my stop loss right here, but it literally closed it right away. This is what I wanted to see for 10 handles. That's okay. I'll just sit and wait. It's better for me to wait right now. I don't know why I was going long either. That's not my bias. My bias is to the downside, so I wait for downside moves. Way to go. You bet, man. Take care. This is about my stopping point anyway. I'm going to wait and see how this plays out right here. I can see this running up to those equal highs that are sitting right there. But we'll see if it's heavy and it gets aggressive. I'm really disappointed on how this trade, I managed this trade. I mean, I was up 20 handles. How many was that? That would have been a 30 handle win. Horrible mismanagement. I will be journaling that trade. All right. See you, my friend. Take care. God bless. I need some heat in here. It's cold. Yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm not interested in anything unless we get outside of this range. We need to go, ideally, I want to see it move below it. My only entry I think that I would be interested in is this short right here for this fair value gap. I thought it was going to happen right here. It didn't happen. Retraced. Who knows how long we could be in here. We could be in here till noon, which is right here. That's a lot of time passing that we'd have to wait. And even from where we opened, I mean, here's our opening price. Look how close we are to the opening price. We're within 10 handles, 15 handles of opening price. An hour and a half later, 2 hours later. Yeah. Wisdom says, close the charts, walk away, come back at noon, come back at 1:30, see if price action's any different. But sitting in this is just going to promote potentially taking poor setups because of the mismanaged trade. I mean, it was the right setup. I just decided the issue that I did, because it was an eval account, I told myself, well, let's just add another contract to this because it's probably going to run lower. I don't even do that on my funded account. I don't do that on my funded accounts. Why I decided to change it was a poor decision. If I didn't add to that position, I would have had my stop loss at break even and it would have stopped me out for nothing compared to, what was it? 15 handles? No, 15 ticks, 20 ticks, 5, 10 handles. No, it was probably about 5 handles. That I didn't have to have that drawdown when I had 30 handles in profit. So, what I'm articulating to you guys is stuff like this happens. The earlier you can recognize that, okay, I had a mismanaged trade, it happens, not a big deal. How you respond afterwards. So what did I do? I took a trade long and then I realized I'm recognizing what I'm doing. Yes, I'm on an eval account. Yes, I don't care about my eval accounts as much as I do my funded accounts. However, the problem is you're creating a habit on the inside. So I'm sitting here intentionally with my hands folded. Why am I sitting here with my hands folded? Because I don't want my hands on the mouse. Because I have to wait for a clean, clear, obvious setup instead of saying, oh, I think it's running higher. Oh, I think it's running lower. Oh, here's a good spot. Let's try this. That's where the mistakes are made. So you just sit back, hands in your pockets, hands folded, and you just wait. Wait for something obvious. And right now, there's nothing obvious. The sign of a great trader is being able to recognize their own internal struggles and being able to manage them accordingly. Walk away, folding your hands, coming back at another session. Whatever works for you is what you need to do. So let's see how it reacts to this 930 price. Closed right on 930. I told you I wasn't interested in anything until we get outside of this box, and we're about outside of this box. We'll see how it responds to this level here. That's buy-side liquidity and minor buy-side liquidity. $15-minute. Nothing. 30-minute, we got a order block, but we got 3 in a row, so can't really, I don't want to do that. Hourly, still a wick inside that fair value gap. Nothing here. 4 hour, yeah, the 4 hour just still tells me lower prices. We got 2.5 hours left on that candle, though. We swept these equal highs sitting right here. Swept these equal highs. Let's see if it wants to give us a push lower right here. Bodies respected 930 beautifully. Look, you see that? The problem with this inversion is that there's a volume imbalance and our target would be right here. I mean, that's not, you could say this could be your target, but I'm not. 20 handles. I really want to see this buy side swept first. My chart looks very different. No, I'm on NQH 2025. That is what I'm on right now. Also on the bottom right hand corner, your time should say UTC 5. All right, there's a sweep of minor buy side. All right, folks, we're going to call it a day here. So we will not be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow there is no live stream and there's no market open. We'll be back on Friday for NFP. NFP should be a great day of trading. So we will be back then. Stay safe. Take care. We will be back tomorrow. God bless.